Kolos, Kandra, Chaos. Part 3.
Part 2.
Oh, damn it.
Keep it.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new in these parts, I'm Sarah and this is Kevin, and over here we talk about books from the fantasy and science fiction genres. This go around, we're working on part 2 of Brandon Sanderson's Well of Ascension, and it was interesting. I actually just finished it this morning, and I'm like, let's do this while it's fresh. So here we are.
So how do you feel about the Kolos?
Kolos, they're blue blobby things in my mind. When they're little, I imagine them to look much like Slimer from Ghostbusters. We know some things about them. They pretty much, they're violent.
Chaos.
They either have no opinion of you whatsoever, or they just attack. They even do it amongst themselves. It sounds like, based on their description, they grow into their skin. Like, they just start out all...
Until the skin explodes, or...
Yeah, until it's so tight, I guess it would just split. And then that's when they're done, I guess?
Yeah, I was kind of describing it that way.
Yeah. And they can get up to be, what, like 10 feet tall?
I think it was 12.
12 feet tall. But they're blue. I may have already said that. But, I don't know. They're going to be a force themselves.
Because they're the third army coming for...
They're the third army coming, which
Yeah.
I didn't even realize there was a third one until I accidentally read the back of the book.
Accidentally read the back.
I was just looking, but anyways, I'm like, what's this third army? Well, now I know. But they seem to be... I don't know if it's an alliance or if they're under the control of Lord Venture's friend, Lord Justice, who's, from previous episodes, he's the one who set spies out to see if Valette was the real deal or not. So now it seems like, now that Lord Alyn is, in control, the noblemen are coming back, and they're all just like, friendship or not, family or not, we're taking this town.
Mm-hmm. So,
but Sazed was the one who initially encountered the Kolos.
Mm-hmm.
So, being Sazed, he makes his notes in his medals.
Yeah.
But then but they escorted him, because they found him in the treetops. They escorted him to Justice, and he's like, I don't think Justice is as stable as he once used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Of course, you're surrounded by that. How could you be stable?
That's true. I imagine you would always be on edge, because they just attack with no prompting.
And there's things you don't know yet.
Right.
So
that's why I can't really talk too much. I can tell you physically what they look like and how they've seemed to act so far. They speak like human, it's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not some incoherent language. So, I don't know. I gotta learn more about them, so that's what I think about them.
And what about the Kandra? Now that you know a little bit more about them.
I picture Osir still as a dog. He's always going to be a dog. He can never change because I like him as a dog.
Well, I'm meaning more like you got a little bit of backstory into their society and...
The whole contract thing.
Yeah.
So they're essentially Ven when she was younger and a member of thieving crews.
They did what they had to do to survive.
Right. Because the noblemen are afraid of them. Mm-hmm. Because they can just simply consume you and turn into you.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were getting taken out.
Mm.
So I feel bad for him. Because I'm picturing him as a dog. And having to go through that. But I think with him and Vin having had this discussion...
There's kind of a little bridge.
Yeah, I think they're on their way to being friends.
More than master and servant.
Yeah, master and contract holder, and yeah, so... And it turns out, she was really... It was under the impression that she didn't like him because he ate Kelsier. which that was part of it. But it actually ended up being more. It was because he knew that that was the plan, and they could have potentially come up with some other route.
But he was...
But bound by the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So that would tell me, too, he's loyal.
To the contract. Yeah.
Right. So if you have the contract, in theory, he's going to be loyal to you. And now he's in dog form. Dogs are like the most loyal things ever.
So, and he wasn't happy about it.
He wasn't happy about it, but he is starting to come around.
Mm-hmm.
He did say, there's some things I can do with this. These bones and this body. Mm-hmm. So, yay.
So, about the mists.
The mists, they're attacking. But... So Sayce has been out, doing his thing, and he's been hearing stories about this. And so now he's gone back to Luthadel, and en route, that's when he meets Skolas, blah, 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 blah.
And he hasn't actually, witnessed it, but he's seen the aftermath.
He hasn't witnessed it, but he's not one to just talk. He's been investigating.
He's very thorough.
Mm-hmm. He's been investigating. But at the same time as he's experiencing these things, outside of Luthadel...
You have Vin having her experience.
Vin is having an experience, but her mists are actually taking shape into something.
Yes.
However, they have not really messed with her. She can sense its presence, but it never really comes to her. Except for the one time when she crawled into the building. I can't remember why.
There's a window.
Yeah, I don't know if she was just out on a normal nighttime fest and something caught her attention and she went to go into the building and all of a sudden there was this creature there of the mists and then it reached out to her and shoved her out the window, but there was not actually anything there pushing her.
And I believe it said that the mist figure was in the building, correct?
Right.
And then if you remember, they said the mist doesn't go in buildings.
Right. Well, they're also...
So there's more going on.
Yeah. So something's going on there. Because the mists are now attacking. They're coming out during the day. They've forming these creatures.
That burn.
Yeah.
That's how she's sensing them.
Because they're putting off the pulse. I don't know.
So you have any idea what that means?
I don't know. Well, because with that pulse, I may be going off our topics here. With that pulse, she's also experiencing a pulsating from the north, the mountains. And she's reading the Lord Ruler's... Is it a whole nother book? It is the log book.
But it wasn't Lord Ruler.
Okay, she's reading the book that Reshek... No?
Reshek was Lord Ruler.
Right, but is this the same book from the Blurbies?
From book 1.
Right.
Which wasn't Reshek.
Writing the Blurbies, it was the man before the Ascension.
Yeah.
But he didn't make it to the Ascension because Reshek took him over. Is this a continuation of that book, or is this a whole different book?
She's tearing apart the same book that they were reading.
So, she's reading the tome that was written by the man who was supposed to have become the chosen hero of ages, Lord Ruler, Ascender.
Then in the blurbs of this book, you learn that his name was Elendil.
Elendil. So she's reading Elendil's thoughts.
Yes.
Who he apparently experienced the same thing with the mist. He has seen these creatures. They tried to kill some people.
Yeah.
In his...
and he thought he was going crazy.
He was experiencing the pulsing from the mountains. In fact, that he's being drawn to the pulsing. So then that gives me a thinking. I know we're off our topics here, but I want to throw this out real quick. He was the chosen hero of ages.
And he was the only one.
Experiencing these pulsing. No one else is experiencing these pulses, but Vin is. Is she the new chosen one? Is she going to be the new hero of ages?
Well, I'm not going to tell you the title of the third book.
Well, isn't it called Hero of Ages? I'm just saying, she is she the one?
Read and find out.
And yeah. So anyways, that's the mists are definitely a thing.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, all this didn't happen when the Lord Ruler was there.
Right, so it's almost like his death unleashed something that had been pent up. As he was saying, you don't know what I do.
So this could be the deepness, it could be something else, it could...
Yeah. More to come on the mists.
Okay, and then what do you think about the Venture family right now?
The relationship between Elen and his father is as dysfunctional as ever. I mean...
It's broken.
It is broken.
But now you know that, like, there's more.
So, I don't know if I mentioned in the previous video that we did about the Watcher.
You probably talked about it.
Okay. Well, if I hadn't, there's this Watcher that has been paying attention to Vin on her nightly runs. And they've kind of sparred a little bit every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Mistborn as well. He goes by the name of Zane. And it is actually Elen's half-brother.
Mm-hmm.
It is the bastard of Lord Venture, Straff version.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty much been kept in hiding. Well, now that Straff is on the hunt to take over Luthadel, he's brought him back in because he is a Mistborn. And everyone knows that Elen has a Mistborn.
Well, he was trying to get Zane and Vin to be buddy-buddy.
Yeah, and get her on his side. Which he's still doing. Which, I don't know. First of all, this Zane fella...
He's planting seeds.
He is crazy, by the way. He's got this voice in his head that he refers to as God. And God is always telling him, kill this person, kill that person.
Anyone he meets.
Anyone he meets, kill him. Kill him. And it's just like, wow, okay. But he also thinks... It seems... he also thinks that maybe in his friendship that he's trying, not a friendship, but alliance with Vin.
It almost seems to me like he wants Mistborns to be by themselves because no one else could ever understand them.
Right, and he plants these words in her ears. When they encounter, he's like, why are you letting them use you? Them being the nobleman and Lord Elen and... And
unfortunately, there's a part where Ellen does kind of use her.
Oh, yeah, he does. But I also feel like there's some kind of like Days of Our Lives stuff going on because when she encounters this Zane guy, in one moment she's just like, he's so confident and so standing straight, but she does not give in to the thought. But we all know who she's thinking about. Elen. And he says these, not Elen, but Zane says the words that make her question everything. So it's like, man, is there going to be like a whole nother, I don't want to say romance, but...
You think there's going to be a triangle?
She's going to have to choose, possibly? I don't know. Because then, when Elen meets with Straff to try and form an alliance, strategizing, whatever.
And he's playing like
does all his war stuff. Yeah. Prevention, postponement, whatever. Elen uses Vin as like his...
Get out alive card.
Yeah. You try to kill me, she will kill you. And she even like uses her powers on Lord Straff to show how powerful she actually is. But while she's standing outside the tent, Zane comes up to her and they're just having this conversation. You guys are on two sides of the fence, and instead of taking each other out, you're just having this casual conversation. He's still planting his seeds to get her to come to the other side. And
well, that just kind of shows you Zane isn't necessarily 100% for his father.
Right. So, yeah. Which, by the way, Elen does not know that Zane is related to him.
Not a clue.
Vin does not know this either. No one knows.
Except for Straff and Zane.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Which that takes us into overall relationships right now. I feel like in this particular part, a lot of relationships are strained.
Well, they're strained too because there's an imposter still on the loose.
Yes, that is part.
So, like, Vin is she's getting kind of back into her I don't trust anyone phase until she can eliminate. So she's eliminated Breeze, Ham, Spook as being the imposter.
Because if they burn, they're not a conjurer.
Obviously, Osur is not the imposter. Vin and Elend are not the imposters. So that pretty much leaves Doxin and Clubs. Now here's the problem though. Doxin's doesn't have any allomantic powers, so even if he wasn't the imposter, how are you gonna know? Because how are you gonna know?
I don't know.
Because like you said, if they burn, then they can't be.
And Clubs is a smoker, so...
Right, so if she tests him... So, I don't know. And to be perfectly honest, I feel like Doxin has been kind of different in this part. So, I'm already like... He's not the same Doxin pre...
Well, Kelsier's not there.
I know, but I don't like to think that his whole way was only because of Kelsier.
No, he's had a limited amount of time to really work on his noble stance.
Yeah.
Because remember, he wasn't a fan of nobles, and Ellen's a noble.
I know, but he still just seems different. And like I said, you wouldn't be able to prove it with allomancy, whether he was him or not. So I don't know. So that's part of why they're estranged. They're also probably strained because there's 2 armies, now 3,
About to be 3, yeah.
barreling down on the town, or the city. You got the Ska, like, what's happening? What are we,
The scene with Vin at the dress shop.
They're all, like, losing faith in the leader, and the food costs have already gone up, the stores have been made available, and it's, like, not that long into the siege yet.
No.
So...
He's doing a good job of painting the picture of, like, what the stress would actually do.
Yeah. So there's that. Alind is still kind of, like, finding himself as leader with the help of the terrorist woman.
Tyndall.
Yeah. So...
And then he comes back from the meeting and... Hey.
So he meets with his father, and he essentially wins the meeting. Like, he'll hold off on attacking until Luthadel is ready to attack, and then together Straff and Alin will attack Set. That's the plan. He has this plan. He comes back, he's all like, yes, my first victory as king. And then they're like, them being the assembly, we've done a no vote of confidence, we're gonna find a new king, thanks but no thanks. So it's like, really? I just essentially threatened my life, I used my girl as my token to get this done, and
we could have both died.
Yeah. And this is what I get. So that's gonna create tensions, because now who's in charge? Who's in charge now? Who's to say the assembly didn't go behind his back and make some kind of deal with, like, Set or someone else in Straff's army? I'm
not giving you an answer.
What if the imposter's on the assembly? I don't know.
I'm not giving you an answer. But just hypothetically speaking, who's been the go between the assembly and Elend?
I know, Doxin. And that's why when all this happened and Doxin comes back and is like, this just came in, I'm just like, Doxin, you're not helping. You're not helping the case in my mind that's trying to say you are not the imposter.
I just want to say,
he's got to be the imposter.
I just want to say, when this is revealed, I want your reaction purely.
Then that means you can't talk to me about it off camera. Don't ask me questions, because you know I'll give it right then and there. So, but it's going to be Doxin. I feel it. Because I've been thinking he's different. I was trying to think, well, he's not a nobleman. He's not an Allomancer. He doesn't have his best friend anymore, so maybe that's why he's kind of being reserved and not speaking his opinion as much. Also, they're trying to like build the confidence of Elend because he needs this confidence in order to make the plans work.
Breeze was working on that.
Soothing the anxiety and the fear and the worries. So I thought, well, maybe he's just holding back because he's not really these people, and his main person is no more. But no.
Well, you gotta look at it from like, if you are Doxson. Elend has been blowing off the assembly.
Right.
And you're the one that's having to go tell him he ain't coming.
But he's blowing it off to try and...
But at the same time, it's kind of one of those you gotta balance at things.
Yeah. But he went to the assembly to get the whole what do they call it? The permission to have the parlay, meaning we won't do anything until I talk to my father. He went to them and they're just like, he's not even here. We're gonna just have our own conversations, make up our own.
Well, he's had some character growth since then.
Right, thanks to the terrace woman.
But that was the last time he actually like addressed the assembly.
Well, that's true. He's been doing everything like through documents and docs.
It's not a good...
No. Because Doc's like, he doesn't really have any...
Like, Tyndall has the best intentions, but her direction isn't necessarily helpful with, like, an assembly.
With internal... Yeah, she's more about
King.
The external appearance.
Well, she hasn't got to that yet, really.
Well...
Because she's like, you gotta look the part, act the part, and then you start...
Right, but it's all in preparation for this meeting with Straff. Because she did go to one of the assemblies and she was not impressed, and that's kind of... I think she went just to kind of see what she was working with, because then she started her transformation of Elend.
Or if there was something to work with.
Right, which she was brought in by Says, because Says was like, I can't be here, will you come in and keep an eye on things and work on him? So, I don't know. So that's partly why relationships being strained. With the whole, I think Vin's relationship with Elend is going to be strained with these words from Zane in her head and then what he pulled at the meeting. So
he planted seeds and now there's roots from that action.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on here.
And she's still holding in a lot internally. Because it's just who she is.
Yep. And it's almost like the weight of the ska has now been put on her shoulders. Yeah. Because she's the heir of the survivor of Hathsin, and she's the one who actually killed the Lord Ruler, and she's the new.
And I like how Straff just completely underestimated her right off the bat.
Well, she kind of did that too on purpose. Like she allowed him to sense that she was soothing him,
and then acted like, "Who am I?
Oh my, I'm such a weak little thing." Yeah, okay. But
we know better.
Exactly. But yeah, so I don't know. It's I don't know, there's a lot going on here. I just can't believe he did all that and now they're like, nope, we want a new king.
Nothing ever goes smooth.
No. Now they got the Third Army, which the Golos could take out the two armies. There's 20,000 of them?
Yeah. It could at least wipe out one of the armies by itself.
Yeah. I don't know. So. Doxson.
So you ready to start on part 3?
Yeah.
More or less?
I'm ready, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen now.
You can't even see ahead, can you?
No. Because now, I don't know. It just seems like it's problem after problem. When Politics. You start getting somewhere, it all falls apart. Oh, I'm going to throw something out here. Where has Marsh gone? He was with Says. Says woke up one day, and then he wasn't there, and he essentially traveled all the way back to Luthadel by himself.
I don't remember.
Well, no, we don't know. I mean, I'm just like, they haven't talked about him lately.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's still alive. I mean, because he kind of followed his footsteps until he could no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, thinking out loud. I don't think did we cover everything we wanted to talk about? That seemed really quick.
I brought up the points I was thinking about.
Yeah. The Khandra. I like Osur. We all know this. The Khandra, I'm assuming it's the one from Straff's house, who is now walking around as somebody.
Who someone is also planting stuff for Zane to pick up.
Well, it has to be the Khandra who is in person. It has to be whoever's impersonating. I would think. Unless Zane's got his own thing going on. But whatever he gets, he relays to Straff, so I don't know. Right?
Right.
Is he relaying everything, though?
Don't know.
I mean, he's always trying to kill the man. He tried to poison him. So...
He actually did poison him.
Well...
Straff knew it. But...
Straff knew it, and then he had to drink the poison just to prove how strong he is, when in reality, he's like, hurry up! Get me some medical assistance! After Zane left. So...
He's just not a good guy.
He's an ass.
Girl came in there, thought she was finally going to get her some, and... Don't do that, woman. Fix me a...
Yeah, you're 20 years too old. 20 years old, and she's too old.
And he brought in that young girl to
Looks like Vin.
Offset Vin.
Mm-hmm.
Younger and prettier. You have one, I have one too.
Mm-hmm. I bet he would drive a big truck. If he was in this day and age. Yes. Anyways, so... Are we good with part 2?
Yep.
Lots has happened. I'm ready for part 3. Which we will be working on. Should be out in about a week as usual. And with that...
I believe we are done.
Yeah, so we'll see you next time.
See ya.